council member in Eastern Queens, and I'm delighted to join my colleagues who are here today in endorsing Christine Quinn for mayor. Yay! My applause lines, I guess. You know, I've had the opportunity of working closely with Chris over these last 4 years in my first term in the council, and she is a strong leader. She's as tough as this city is, and she's got a personality that is unmatched. She's someone who is a real New Yorker and will be a great representative for New Yorkers. But I think Christine Quinn's strongest personality trait is her ability to connect with New Yorkers, to connect with people from all over this city, including my 5-year-old daughter, who I had with me one day. And I know what it's like to be the child of a politician, and everyone feels they have to pat you on the head and say the same things to you. But somehow Christine Quinn was able to engage my daughter in a way that she became close friends, and she definitely was taken with Christine Quinn and her ability to connect with this 5-year-old child. And it just goes to the fact that, you know, children in particular know BS when they see it. And she realized that this is someone who was really reaching out and being sincere. And Chris has that unique ability of being to connect with New Yorkers. And that's on people all over this city. And when it comes to who you want to be our leader, who you want to lead this city in the future, you want someone who is going to represent all New Yorkers. You want someone who has the personality, who has the toughness, who has the sense of humor, and has that connection with people that Christine Quinn does. So I'm happy to be here today to join her. I think she's going to make a great mayor, and I'm happy to join her here today. Thank you.
All right. And another new endorsement that we're really excited to have here, he's part of the newer class of the council, but has done so much, and we work really closely together. And he's from Brooklyn. That's Council Member Steve Levin.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Ferreras. I want to thank all of you for coming out today, for showing your support for our next mayor, Christine C. Quinn. As a council member who sits on the Education Committee, who sits on the General Welfare Committee, and we have our Chair Annabelle Palma here today, I can tell you we face major challenges in the city. In the first 3.5 years that I have served on the council, every budget we face daunting challenges. Cuts coming down in child care, cuts coming down in after-school programs, in senior funding, cuts coming in for AIDS prevention and AIDS programs. And every year, I have been absolutely confident that our Speaker, Christine Quinn, will stand up for everyday New Yorkers and for the needs of everyday New Yorkers. Year after year, she has stood up for child care programs, early childhood education, after-school programs. I mean, this year was an astounding feat of restoring tens of millions of dollars in the city budget for after-school programs. That would not have happened if the people of New York City did not have a champion in the Speaker's office, Christine Quinn. So I got to just say, I'm excited to endorse Chris for mayor. I am thrilled that she will be somebody in City Hall, in the mayor's office, that will be looking out for everyday New Yorkers. I've had the pleasure of working with her on a mandatory kindergarten resolution that has expanded, made sure that every 5-year-old in New York City will be attending kindergarten. She spearheaded the effort to get that legislation passed in Albany here in the council. Most recently, she brought the full weight of the council behind a resolution to call on the state of New York to continue services at Long Island College Hospital, which serves my district. The people of Brooklyn, the people of my district, the people of New York City have a friend and a champion in Chris Quinn. And as mayor, she will be working every single day on behalf of the needs of New Yorkers. So, Madam Speaker, I look forward in 7 months' time to calling you Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Well, my pregnancy is right on schedule. So we have 9 weeks left. I also want to take this opportunity to say that our colleagues sat here together because this is not about us wanting
nobody is qualified as Christine Quinn to be the mayor of the city. For years, I've seen her really hold a very mixed group of council members, and she's held them together, which in itself is quite unique. That will be necessary for whoever is mayor of this city. Somebody who knows how to compromise at the right time and hold firm at the right time. And I want to stay in this city, and I believe it would be best for me and my family to stay in this city with Christine Quinn as our mayor. Thank you.
So now we're going to call up our wonderful leader of the Bronx delegation. She's been amazing in every step of the way and has managed to bring all of the boroughs together on various issues, especially as the chair of the General Welfare Committee. Help me bring up our council member, Anna Lentano.
Thank you, Councilmember Ferreira. I also want to thank my colleagues who stand here behind us, making what we know is the best decision for the city of New York, which is endorsing Christine Quinn for mayor. You know, you've heard the reasons why Chris will be a great leader. And it's not just, for us, it's not just about hearing those reasons. She's demonstrated that to us throughout the years. I want to share that Chris and I built a relationship from the very beginning of her speakership. And we had some wonderful roles, but she demonstrated to be a person who means what she says, and it's a person who values your opinion, has integrity, and when it's not able to agree with you, it's not afraid to tell you, I cannot be there with you, but won't stop you from moving forward and continue for you to do the work that you need to do. I'm proud to endorse Quinn. For me, it was a decision that I had to make. I have some friends in the race as mayor, but the one thing that kept honing in is that we need this woman as a leader in our city. We need someone who can connect with the issues of everyday New Yorkers, and Christine Quinn has proven to do that throughout numerous issues that we worked on together, which was whether it was homelessness, child care, UPK, senior services. She has been there in the forefront and has managed to get this administration to do a lot of the work that needed to be done for our constituency. Estoy muy orgullosa de estar aquí hoy con mis colegas en el Consejo y mis colegas estatal, la asambleísta Carmen Arroyo y el senador Gustavo Rivera, que también están apoyando la candidatura de la señora Christine Quinn. Y lo hago porque usted es una mujer fuerte, una mujer que le va a demostrar a la ciudad de Nueva York qué es el liderazgo en realidad, cuáles son las razones por qué ella puede llevar a nuestra ciudad al próximo nivel. Y lo ha demostrado a través de los presupuestos que nosotros hemos negociado. Lo ha demostrado cuando el alcalde quería cerrar los programas de escuela, después de las horas de escuela, debajo de su liderazgo. Ella estuvo ahí y ella nos demostró que ella sí puede luchar por las cosas que le importan a los neoyorquinos día a día. Se lo ha demostrado a nuestras personas de tercera edad, se lo ha demostrado a los niños de edades menos de 5 años, y yo estoy muy orgullosa de estar aquí y voy a trabajar muy duro porque sabemos que Christine Quinn es la alcaldesa que nos va a llevar a victoria y va a llevar a nuestra ciudad a un lugar mejor. Gracias.
Kind of going a little longer than it is. Now we're going to call up Councilmember Jimmy Van Braber, who's my neighboring council member, and who I've known for many years. We're very excited. Come on up.
First of all, I want to thank Councilman Ferreras and Julian for leading this press conference. Maybe Julian has no idea what he's in for. So I just want to say how glad I am to be here with all my colleagues. Yesterday, I finished reading Christine Quinn's memoir.
so thrilled. The first line in the book has to do with libraries. The very first sentence in the book speaks to libraries, and as someone who worked for the public library system for 11 years, who's been chair of cultural affairs and libraries for the last 4, I can tell you that no single person in the city of New York has done more for our public libraries or our cultural institutions and organizations than Christine Callahan Quinn. Nobody. And when Christine Quinn tells you that she's doing something, that she's committed to something, that she will do something, you can take it to the bank. She is someone who comes through. You can trust her. Every election, in my mind, is about trust and integrity. Every single election. And I stand with Christine Quinn because I know her. I know her not just because I read her book, but because I have worked alongside with her for over 20 years. And I can tell you that she is a woman of strength, of character, integrity, and honesty. She's a great leader. She's going to be a great mayor. That's why I'm supporting her.
And now we have a colleague over from Brooklyn who's also here, very excited. She's still with the Endorse a few weeks ago, also with Dominican women. We're going to call down Councilmember Diana.
Thank you, my colleague Lisa Ferreras. I am here under this melting sun. I want to be brief, but I cannot forget to mention how dynamic a woman Christine Quinn is as our speaker, visiting with us in our districts, responding to the concerns of our districts. It is important that we do not lose touch with people, and that is what this campaign means to me. Knowing that there is a woman who can relate to us as a community. Knowing that I'm competing with. Keep going.
What's his name?
Greener waste. So when we have issues that impact our district, like borough equity across the city of New York, and fighting to maintain a plan that we thoroughly made sure was going to honor that request, it is this woman, unlike other candidates running for mayor, who has stood in the forefront, in the limelight, no matter what the attack, to stand with integrity and not change her mind when it is convenient politically. It is so important that I recognize, my community recognizes, how this is the woman who was there for a senior center and a daycare center when this new RFP cycle have taken away the resources so that seniors would have to walk further or perhaps even just remain at home and not find a place to go, a safe place where they can interact and socialize, where children are safely being taken care of while parents continue to work. She is protecting the middle class, the most vulnerable. This campaign is about the most vulnerable. It is about children. It is about seniors. It is important that we ask ourselves, who do we want governing this city for the next 8 years, not just 4? This is about a future for the city of New York, and there is a woman who has worked in these communities. She has a community development background, and that is Christine C. Quinn. Deseo dejarles saber que yo como concejal estoy apoyando 100% la carrera como candidata para la alcaldía. Christine Quinn es la candidata preferida en nuestras comunidades, no solamente porque es este año en la cual ella está respondiendo, pero sino porque se le ha visto en los últimos 8 años la necesidad de responder a lo que más atentos, lugares de temor, lugares de tratar de avanzar lo que son aquellos problemas que nosotros sabemos estamos sufriendo. Y es Christine Quinn la que ha respondido con solución. Y necesitamos aprender de que necesitamos candidaturas que son para responder a nuestras comunidades y no a la política de siempre. Muchas gracias.
make it very, very quick and very, very simple. Over the years, both privately and publicly, I've disagreed with Christine. But what I've learned over the last 2 years working with her in my tenure in the Senate is that ultimately who I want in the city is not somebody that I'm going to agree with on everything, but somebody that can lead. And somebody that I believe wholeheartedly has enough gumption to bring everybody around the table to make sure that the results that we get are the ones that are better for the entire city of New York. And I'm convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that as it relates to my constituency in the Bronx, this is precisely the type of person, this is precisely the woman that we need in the mayorship. And that's why I'm proud to be supportive of her. Estoy aquí orgulloso de apoyar a Christine Quinn para alcalde por algo bien simple. Públicamente y privadamente a veces he estado de desacuerdo con ella, pero he aprendido en los últimos 2 años que ella es una persona que ella puede liderar. Y últimamente no necesito a alguien en la alcaldía con la cual vaya a estar de acuerdo. Necesito a alguien en la alcaldía que sé que puede liderar, que puede traer a todo el mundo en una mesa, llegar a un entendimiento y saber que los resultados van a ser mejores para la ciudad completa y definitivamente para las personas que representan el Bronx. Estoy muy orgulloso de estar aquí con Christine Quinn y con mis colegas para apoyarla para ella ser la próxima alcalde. Muchas gracias.
And now we're going to call up from the Bronx our Assemblywoman. Really, when we talk about breaking the glass ceiling for women and for Latina, she really has done that for us all. We're going to call up Assemblymember Carmen Antonio.
Okay, I'm Carmen Arroyo. I represent the 84 Assembly District in the Bronx, the South Bronx. There are 2 things that I have to say about this point. When the mayor and the alcaldes of the mayor tried to build a jail in the South Bronx, in my district, this woman had the guts to face the mayor, face the city council, and the community, and help the community make sure that that building will never be built in my area. And I start to respect her because, ladies and gentlemen, esta mujer tiene agallas. Ella puede hacer el trabajo. Ella es la mujer que necesitamos en liderato. Y quiero llamar la atención a todas las mujeres hispanas y minoritarias. Vean lo que está pasando cuando los machos son los que mandan. Vamos a votar y vamos a elegir
Quinn, I had black hair. Okay, so we're going back in time. We're also in the 22-year club. Let me get right to it. Whatever you care about in New York City, whatever issue you care about in New York City, Chris Quinn has a record of accomplishment, a record of solid accomplishment in whatever issue you care about. Not a phrase, not a slogan, not a word picture, an actual record of leadership. And having served the city government for 30 years and seen leaders come and go in this town, I respond to leadership, I respond to people who have a policy-making process that is very inclusive, that gets to the right policy decision and doesn't back down when it gets hot in the kitchen like it is today here.
She doesn't even sweat.
This is a woman that will not back down